Well, hi, I'm Robert Knoll, and welcome to the Guitar Zone. This is the Patreon guitar lessons. This is number 2 lesson. This is the second lesson, and we've got 51 more lessons to go. This is only your second week, so I hope that you've enjoyed working with the first video I did, your introduction video. And I talked about a whole lot of things. I showed you 3 different guitars. Today I'm showing you one of my acoustic guitars. And this one has electronics on it. It has no tuner built into it. But it has electronics for me to change the sounds. And it's an electric acoustic. Or, you know, I can take out the volume altogether and just have it as an acoustic guitar. Or I can, of course, bring in the amplifier. So it's cool for reasons, okay? It's kind of an ancient, this instrument's at least a few decades old. But anyways, let's talk about your first lesson last week. I'm hoping that you got in your time and started learning how to practice, okay? And how important it is to play every day, no matter what. Even if you're sick and you're not feeling good, it's not a good day, you still got to somehow get in your time. It's got to be part of your lifestyle to get good at guitar. Got to be patient, okay? So what we're doing today is we're pretty much going over the same things. I'm going to give you some more ideas about it, okay? I don't want to add anything real new because I think you still need more time on this, okay? And I'm going to try to give you some other things to practice what we talked about last week in the first lesson, okay? Remember that you can get the PDFs. You really need them now. You need to be having an email contact with me. If you're not doing a FaceTime with me or whatever, you need to contact me and I will send you the PDFs that go along with these lessons. And, you know, it'll give you a visual sheet that you can print out from the PDF, and you can have that sheet in front of you or have it up on your computer, your iPad, or whatever, okay? So that's kind of important, all right? Really, you should have that going by now. Okay, that said, I think you probably took my advice and just got to know your pick. You know, holding the pick right between the thumb and the first finger and getting that down-up picking going, like a down pick, and switching strings, and then working with your down-up pick, and then you know I'm going to a B. What's the high first string? It's an E. What's the low 6th string? What's it called? You should know it's E. Got 2 E's. High E and low E. What's the 5th string? A. It's A, right, okay. Your 5th string is the A string. What's the 2nd string? You should know it's B. Yeah, your B string. How about the 4th string? D. Yeah, it's your D string. Okay. And then your 3rd string, you know. You like that string because it's your G string. The G string, yeah. And you worked on playing blind. Like, you looked for a couple days, and then you go, well, I got to be able to find these strings. I got a down-up going on my low E string, and I want to be able to go to my 4th string without hitting that other string. You just go from 6th string, E, to D. Now I want to go to maybe B. Now I'm going to go to A. Now I'm going to jump to high E. How about low E? Up, down, up, down, up. How about D again? How about A? How about G? B? And I'm not looking. Mind's eye. You've got to be able to gauge where those strings are. You've got to be able to feel where they are, know where they're at without even looking. So keep working on that, okay? You know, sometimes it takes more than a week. Couple weeks, maybe a few weeks to start getting better at that, okay? But make that part of your daily practice. That's your first warm-up to get your pick activated in your right hand, nice and relaxed. Okay, so then we went to the very important, we talked about the chromatic scale. Remember, what is a chromatic scale? You should be able to tell me. Well, it's every half step. Music is made up of half steps, whole steps, step and a half, 2 steps. We have different varieties of what we'll call intervals, and we'll talk about that later. But anyways, we started with the low E and maybe just with down picking, and then you went to the first fret, first finger, second fret, second finger, third fret, third finger, fourth finger, and you kept them all down. You learned to keep your fingers in position. We don't like them flying away from the strings. We want to try to keep them as close to the string as possible if we're not playing, if we're not depressing. And you realize how important it is to play up against the fret. If you hit on the fret, you're going to get a dull, dead sound. It's not going to sound very nice. But right up against the fret with enough pressure on your fingers, and you're going to get a nice sounding note. First fret, second fret, third fret, fourth fret. We go on to the A string. We do the same thing. Open string is always first. Then first finger, second finger, third finger, fourth finger. We go to the open D string. Now what happens after the D string? We're going to the G string. What happens? You should know. Yeah, the G string, third string, we only go to the third finger because we don't want to repeat a note. So that's the only one that breaks the pattern. Then when you go to your B string, your second string, it's back to 1, 2, 3, 4. Or open 1, 2, 3, 4. So you're actually playing 5 notes, but 4 fingers. Then you go, same thing with the open E string. That's your first note, then first finger, second finger, third finger, fourth finger. Then we automatically come back to the third finger, second finger, first finger, open. And then you lead with the fourth. Now every note's on its own merit now. Open, and then we lead with the third finger for the G string, second finger. I'm just adding the fingers as I need them, but I'm staying in position. Fourth fret, third finger, second fret, second finger, first fret, open string, 4, 3, 2, 1, open, 4, 3, 2, 1, open. And maybe you've gotten really good with it. Maybe you can flow with it down up picking this week. Maybe not this fast, but you're working on it. Eventually, we're going to do what's called an extended chromatic scale. A few weeks down the road, you're going to be playing real nice, and we're going to keep going with it. And then you're going to return. Okay, so eventually, that's going to be an extension of the chromatic scale that we're working on right now. So I hope that you're being diligent, and that means you're not giving up, and that even when it seems difficult and you're just struggling, just hang in there. Slow it down. Relax. Get a nice thought in your head. You're on the beach, and nice sunny. You're feeling the warmth. Another thing I'll tell you about, and maybe you should think about this, it's fun because later on as we learn songs and learn how to strum and do things, we're going to be talking as notes. I'm not asking you to read music yet, but at some point that may become important for you. If you want to play Bach or you want to play jazz, and reading music, it adds in the language of music and learning how to look at a page of notes or a manuscript and play. That could be important, but not maybe in these first weeks or months, or maybe even a year. Maybe it's down the road for you. So reading music is cool, and we'll talk about that more in the future. But right now, I want you to start having fun with the guitar. I want you to get through these basics a little bit, and we'll start jamming on some things pretty soon. We're trying to get the fingers activated, to get the dexterity and the coordination going, with these 4 fingers, and getting your thumb placed right. Not buckling, not going on the side, but nice, up and down, just like a fret back there. Getting the wrist feeling right. Getting your pick to hit the down, 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 1, 2, 3, 4, and the down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 3 and 4 and down, 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 down. So when you do those downs, those are called beats. They get one count. 1, 2, 3, 4. They're ringing for that distance. It could be a slow 1, 2, 3, 4. When we play the upbeat, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. Your pick is going down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. Those are called eighth notes. When we hit the 1, 2 on the downbeat, those are called quarter notes. So in music theory, and when you get to written music, you're going to have to know quarter notes. Get one count. I'll quiz you on this next week, maybe. What kind of note gets a half a count? Well, it's called an eighth note. So if we count quarter notes and eighth notes, and I go 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and those 8 notes I just played were eighth notes. They all got a half a count. If I told you just to play quarter notes, that would just be 1, 2, 3, 4, and I'm just picking down with my pick. If I have you strum a chord, quarter notes, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. If I have you strum eighth notes, then you've got to do down, up. You've got to go down, up, down, up, down, up. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2. And now we'll go back to quarter notes. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now eighth notes. Down, down, up, down. Make sure when you strum down, only 3 strings. G, B, and the note that you're changing here. Your G chord, your G7 chord. You don't want to hit that 4th string. You don't want to get that in there yet. It's just still 3 strings. But when you strum up, you have to bring your pick strumming up against 3 strings. So you might want to be watching your pick for a while until you feel that, well, I'm good at that. I can strum down and up on just 3 strings. You're brushing your pick. It's like a paintbrush. You're brushing. Down, up, down, up, down, up. So what I was getting at too is what's important in the future for the emotion of playing, and one of the cool things about the art of music, and I'm writing about this in my book I'm writing, but it has to do with the coloration of notes. So when I hit an open E, what do I see in my mind? Well, E, I would say, is, it's not sad, it's just serious. It's a little bit dark. When I go to A, it's not as dark. You know? So that might be tinging on a black, this might be a brown. The D, well, I might see that as maybe like a red or an orange, red-orange. That G string, wow, I'm kind of seeing like some kind of hue of maybe a blue, maybe a dark blue or a lighter blue, turquoise. Maybe it's a green that makes me think of. When I hit that B, your second string, I don't know, maybe that's a yellow or a yellow-orange. When I hit that high E, wow, that's kind of a bright, almost to a neon color. Maybe that's like a hot a pink or a purple. So when we play little chords, what chord did that 3-note G chord, what does that sound like? What does the second fret? That's a little warmer sound. And then I go to the G7. Ooh, that adds in a little different character. You remember the 4th finger on the 5th fret? So chords and notes and strings, things we play on the guitar, we can look at colorations. Do they make us feel happy, sad, or in between, or real happy, or real sad? What color would we associate with anything we play? Can we imagine the color that it brings to our mind? And if you can start to do that with music, you're starting to get deep. You're starting to listen. You're starting to see how that chord or that note affects you. So that's just something to think about, okay? We're only in our second week, Okay, so far we've gone over the chromatic scale. We played it forwards and backwards. And I should remind you again that you can stay on each string for a while. You might just go forwards, and I'm doing my down up. And you might want to say down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, up, down. Then coming backwards, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, up, down. Now can you go forwards and backwards? Down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. And you keep it repeating. Keeping your fingers in position. You don't want them flying too far away from the string. I go to the A string, and it helps to say down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. Whenever you vocalize something while you're playing, that helps. That imprints on the brain. D string, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, 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 down, up. The G string, we always just go to the third finger. Down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. So if I start and I double the speed, and I double it again, and can I double it again? Keeping those fingers in that 1, 2, 3. Forward, backwards. And then you get to your high E string. Man, you could do this for 5-10 minutes. You start to get really good on each string. You focus on each string sometimes, and that can be really helpful. And your fingers are getting that workout. So what's another thing I could do? Well, so far we've just been hitting each note one time. What if I did 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 4 hits on each string, 4 beats. So these are quarter notes, 1 beat apiece. 1, 2, 3, 4. What if I do the eighth notes? I go 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3. Down, up, down, up, down, up, down. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. 1 up, down, up, down, up, down. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. And am I ready to go? Look at my pick. And look at my hand, still in that 1, 2, 3. Look at my thumb. It's not going that way. It's not buckling. It's nice back there. It's allowing my wrist to come out. I could do the same thing on the next string. 1, 2, 3, 4. Down, up, the eighth notes. Down, 2 and 3, and you can go very slow if you need to. Down, up, down. So you're looking for quality. You're looking for your fingers to look like a professional player, but you want those notes to sound as good as you can too. So it's quality control. It's a good word to remember. We're working for quality control. Want it to sound as best we can. So these were some different ways. I don't have to count in fours. I could count, say, 2 notes. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. So I'm hitting 2 notes per note. 3rd string. Keeping all the fingers down. And then the return trip. Down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. So I'm hoping that some of that will be good for you. All right. Well, I'm going to also allow you to do something else with the chords this week. I was, second week. I think we can also practice 3 notes on these chords, but we can also go to the 4th string. So we add the D string in there, and we still got a G chord. When you move your first finger down to this note here, 1st fret, F, we're getting a G7. But now we're strumming 4 strings. 1, 4 strings. 4 strings. The D, the open D, is the lowest note. And then we go up to our G9, 4th finger on A, but we're strumming 4 notes. So if you were doing this in front of me and if I said 3, you'd just give me 3. Go give me 4. Keep 4 next to the fret. Now give me 3. 4. 3. Go back to 4. So now we did do something a little different with those same chords. We can strum 3 notes. We feel good about just 3 strings. And now we're going to learn to feel good about 4 strings this week. Okay, so look. This is your lesson this week. It's quite a bit shorter than last week, but I wanted to give you more time working with what we've got so far. The right hand picking exercises, and learning to use mind's eye and not have to find a string. Knowing the string names, you better know them. You got to know those names of those strings and the number string you're playing. And then starting to care about the quality control, tips of fingers, hugging the frets, and fingers staying in that 1, 2, 3, 4 positioning. And hopefully now you're starting to coordinate down strokes or down up strokes with your pick. And you should be starting to get better at it. And then we've got our chords. We upgraded a little bit this week and went from 3 note to 4 notes, but you still got to practice the 3 note strumming, down and down, up, down, up. And now you're going to work with adding that 4th string. That's enough for this first week. We want to, I could give you tons more to work on, but let's just pull back and hang here for a minute. And like I said, you're welcome to contact me. Maybe I can give you some other hints. And next week we're going to still keep reviewing, but maybe adding a little bit more. This is only your second week of 53 lessons. You got 51 more to go. So hang in there. Learn to relax, learn to be patient and diligent, and you've got to learn to be consistent with these exercises, the right hand and left hand. Okay, so Robert Noel at the Guitar Zone. These are your 53 lessons this year, every week.